We are here to help you succeed in your music career and to avoid some of the pitfalls that are placed in front of us on this winding, long road called becoming a musician. And this leads us nicely to the subject of our conversation today, which is playlisting. Playlists are awesome. Most of us, or a lot of people, listen to music off of playlists, and some people discover artists off of playlists. Now, you can understand the appeal of playlists because some playlists have massive amounts of monthly listeners. Some have millions, right? And so wanting to be on a playlist is an understandable desire. And because it's an understandable desire, there are many bad actors who want to take advantage of this desire. Now, I'm here to stop you from being a victim of some of these people. If you're an artist yourself, you're just starting out or you've been doing it for a while, I can imagine you've probably received an email telling you that, hey, for a certain fee, you can be placed on some prestigious playlist or a playlist with a couple million people who listen to it monthly, supposedly. Don't fall for the trap. By falling for this trap, you are damaging your artist profile, especially on streaming services, Spotify to be a little bit more specific. We're going to quickly dive into what these scammers do and why you should try and avoid it. I'm going to give you 5 ways as how this works so that you can avoid this like the plague. The first thing is payment for placement. As soon as someone asks you to pay a certain amount of money to get a certain amount of streams, you should be really suspicious at that point. That's not how music works. People listen to music because they like it, and no one can promise you a certain amount of streams unless something is happening in the background, something a little sinister. The second thing is fake engagement. The reason why this is so sinister is because a lot of these scammers, instead of actually promoting your music and actually feeding it to real people, they use bots and things like that to inflate the numbers. So you might sit back and be like, wow, I'm on this playlist with millions of people and my song has been listened to around 1 million times, and you might feel really good about yourself. But those aren't real people. The third reason why this is quite dangerous for your artist profile is because of the risk of detection. You see, companies like Spotify actually have their own algorithms, and if something seems a bit off, they can zero in on what the issue is, and if your artist profile is caught up in that mix, the chances of you being blacklisted greatly increases. And if Spotify flags your profile, that is terrible for your music career in terms of being on streaming services, and you don't want that. If you are enjoying this video, subscribe to this channel and give a like on this video if you're finding this really helpful and you're finding it informative. Back to the video. Number 4 is the consequences of being caught to have engaged in that level of deception on streaming platforms. If, say, Spotify notices some weird activity happening and they zero in on your profile, they could even ban you, or they could remove the artificially inflated numbers, making your numbers look small again, and that's just not a good look. Number 5 is the long-term impact of engaging in this. If you have been caught to have engaged in that sort of activity, it just looks terrible on you and people may not want to work with you. Even record labels might look at you and be like, yeah, we don't want to work with this person who has clearly engaged in something like this. As real musicians, we want to engage with real people. There is no point of doing music simply for the numbers, even if those numbers are not real people. That defeats the whole point of being a musician, and it speaks to something a little more sinister within ourselves, just the desire to be acknowledged, even if we haven't put in the proper amount of work to get to where we are. If you get 1 million streams, you want it to be because people actually love your music. not because you've somehow found a way to cheat the system. I'm going to quickly give you 8 points on how you can legitimately get on a playlist the proper way without cutting corners and putting your own artist profile at risk. The first one is submitting your music to Spotify's editorial playlists. And if you want a video on how to do that, let us know below and we'll make one. Build relationships with curators. Like I said, some of these playlists that have genuine numbers and have real people listening to them are managed by real people. So if you go in, you could try contact them, try find a way to connect with them. That is one way that you could go about it. You can even contact them on social media. You can email them. You just need to basically do a little bit of work to find them. Number 3 is utilize playlist submission platforms. There are actual real websites you can go to where you can apply with a small fee to be able to be placed on playlists if the playlisters actually enjoy your music and feel that it would fit in to their playlists. A good example of this is a website called Submit Hub. Check it out. They're pretty awesome, but they do not promise you a certain amount of streams, and the playlister has to actually enjoy your music. So it's a little bit more work. You have to go on their playlists and listen to the music on their playlists and then try submit your song because you believe your song will fit in perfectly. Number 4 is networking. Go to musical events in your city. Try and meet people who do music and who perhaps work in the music industry that you could try and connect with and try and build a relationship with. There's just no easy way about it. Number 5 is you actually have to promote your music. I know us musicians really hate that, but there are so many examples of how you can do that in a creative, fun, exciting way. Whether it's letting people into your creative process, whether it's telling a story, and so on and so on. Because the incredible thing about social media is that there's no limit to how many people you can possibly reach. You just have to be consistent and use that creativity that you obviously have. Make sure your song is actually good. Put the money behind it to make the song world class in terms of how good it sounds and all of that sort of stuff. Number 7, and this one is a little bit more difficult, and that is build your own playlist. Build a playlist of songs that you really like, promote it, get a bunch of people to start listening to it and market it and so on until you have a certain amount of people listening monthly, and when you release a new song you can just add the song into the playlist. And this is one aspect of marketing I actually haven't heard that much about, but you can do that if you really enjoy listening to music anyway. Why not start a playlist and to get people to join you in listening to the type of music that you like listening to? Submit to really niche playlists. Go on Spotify, find cool little niche playlists, and again try and contact the curators or try and apply to be on that playlist through Submit Hub or some of these other websites that allow you to submit your music to playlists. All in all, the important thing to understand about being a musician is the fact that it's a long road. You have to work, you have to be diligent, you have to be patient, you have to continually increase your skill. You need to learn to be better at networking. You have to become better at marketing your music using social media. And the cool thing about this is that you can learn on the way. You need to be driven by your desire to make great music and to tell good stories, to genuinely believe in what you're doing. And if what you're doing is something you truly believe in, then you don't mind taking the time to get better at it. Instead of trying to cut corners, understand deeply in your heart that it's going to take some time. And that's completely all right. You need to slowly build yourself so when the break comes, you are well prepared for it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and leave a like and subscribe to the channel like I said earlier, but you are awesome. Until next time, bye.